I blame Twitter for this video. You know when you look at a random tweet and then for some reason your entire feed becomes nothing but that one random tweet? That's what happened to me when I saw a tweet about the summer I turned pretty, a summer that I am still waiting for. It was about someone named Conrad being happy, and I was like, oh, what's this show? And it happened to be the summer I turned pretty. Now I didn't really think much of it until my Twitter started getting spammed with this shit. The sluttiest thing a man can do. And it's just Conrad wearing headphones and doing a crossword. Help, Steven is so me when I see Jeremiah on my screen. Prayers for my kids who'd rather shoot themselves than express their feelings. What the fuck? That's literally her husband, and it's just 2 cookies and corn on the cob on a plate. So Belly's most romantic memory of Jeremiah was actually Conrad? What the fuck happens in season 3? Conrad Fisher, the people's prince. And again, it's just Conrad doing a crossword. Jeremiah Fisher, your time is up. You're done. Welcome home, Belly Conrad cheaters. My future kid's gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna name them The Summer I Turned Pretty, season 3, episode 5, Last Dance. What the fuck is going on? The Summer I Turned Pretty, season 3 in July. Welcome home, cheater. Are you seriously team Jeremiah? The timeline for The Summer I Turned Pretty is so sick and twisted. If I was Conrad Fisher, I would have offed myself in front of everyone and forever changed the trajectory of their lives. What the fuck happens in season 3? The way she fucking froze? Oh my fucking god, yes babe, that's a real fucking man right there. And once again, it's just Conrad doing a crossword. What is up with this obsession with this scene? Anyway, you know, I haven't really dove into some of these shows and movies too much, like The Summer I Turned Pretty, or you know, The Kissing Booth, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, War of the Worlds, you know, teeny bopper rom-coms. So I thought, fine, I will check this show out. And initially, I was gonna watch the entire show to completion and then make a video about it, but I only watched the first episode of season 1 and I've already drawn 2 conclusions. Number 1 is, holy shit, I can make an entire video about the first episode. There is so much to unpack and talk about. And the second thing is, holy shit, how is this fucking 3 seasons long? You could have added like 30 minutes to the first episode and it would have been a decent movie. There is absolutely no way there are fucking 3 whole seasons worth of storytelling here. My voice is going higher than ever possible. So today we are just going to be talking about episode 1. But if you like this video and want me to continue the show, I will. Just let me know. But there's 2 goals in mind that I want to complete for this video. Goal 1 is to talk about and make fun of the show like I do in every video I make. But the second goal is I want to give my theories and predictions to how I think the show will end. Now I am cheating slightly in the fact that I have seen some things on Twitter, so I know it's some weird love triangle between Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah, which until the first episode I didn't know the 2 dudes were brothers. That is super weird. But I do know that one of them is most likely endgame, so at the end I'll give my thoughts as to everyone in the show and where I think they'll end up. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into The Summer I Turned Pretty. I lost some brain cells watching this. So the show starts off with a whole backstory on Belly and her family visiting this beach house every summer. Her family consists of herself, her mom Laurel, who's a writer, and her brother Steven. Her dad is around, but him and her mom are recently divorced, so he's not in this first episode. The other family is Conrad and Jeremiah and their mom Susanna. The dad is also around, but also not in this first episode. I have my theories for that I'll get into later. But the whole plot is that Belly was so incredibly ugly and smelly until one day she wasn't, because she got contacts. Ooh. Let me just say, this whole concept is the dumbest thing on the planet. Yes, people have glow-ups. Some people do look better with or without glasses. This is true. But I want to show you something. Look at this picture. Okay? Now look at this one. There's not a fucking difference. In fact, I'd argue she's more attractive with the glasses. This trope is stupid. Anyway, then we meet Belly's best friend Taylor, in which I have to say with full 100% honesty, and I am not lying here, there is more chemistry here between Belly and Taylor than there is with Belly and any of the men in this show. You may be Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah, but in this first episode, I am Team Taylor. Anyway, we do find out that Belly has had a crush on Conrad for years, and Taylor tries to help Belly start to look and dress a bit better for him.
He'll see you, whether he wants to or not. You look a lot different than last summer, Belly.
So the amount of time she gets told that in this first episode is actually insane. Now here's the thing. Again, the trope is stupid, but glow-ups do happen like this. It's true. We've all seen it. But fucking like 5 people telling her that in the first 10 minutes of the first episode of this show? Chill. and I wouldn't take that as a compliment. If so many people are taking note of how much better I look, then I must have looked really, really bad before. Anyway, so they head to the beach house. Laurel abuses her son while he's driving, possibly leading them to crash and die, and then Belly goes crazy on some Cheetos. Like, girl, chill, no one's taking them from you. Also, maybe it's just me, but it's crazy to eat the food before you buy it in a store like this. But then a 17-year-old dude named Jumper, for some reason, sounds like he's 27 and tries to rizz up Belly by telling her about a bonfire happening later that night. Then because of this, Belly decides to take out her ponytail. Ooh, she looks the same. Can I say that? She looks the same? This trope is so dumb, dude. Then we get to the house where Jeremiah hops like a baby deer and gives the most awkward hug to Laurel, and then says this to Belly.
Well, look who came back all grown up.
Ew. Does that make anyone else grossed out? I know at some point they must date, and hearing someone say you're all grown up and then proceed to date that person? Ew. Had the same weird feeling with Padme and Anakin in Star Wars. Then hottie Conrad shows up and does this.
I liked you better with glasses.
What? That is a crazy random thing to say after not seeing each other for, what, a year? Then the most unrealistic thing happens where the boys throw Belly into the pool. Unrealistic because there's no way she didn't have her phone on her. That phone would have been ruined. Then Susanna says how grown up Belly is, and Belly says the most depressing shit I've ever heard.
You're in bloom.
Susanna has a way of saying things that almost makes me believe her.
Then we learn that neither father is here right now. Curious. Yes, very curious.
For now, it's just the woman and the children. Just the way we like it.
That's sexist. Then we see more of Jeremiah, who is already pissing me off with his positivity. He's like a golden retriever that you want to punch. Like, stop smiling and being happy all the time, man. It's exhausting. Let us sad people feel sadness once in a while. Did you not watch Inside Out?
Pretty please.
Die. Then the show tries to win me over with some Bleacher song, but damn it, you're not gonna convert me to liking the show with that. It's not gonna work. Then we learn more about Laurel being a writer and selling her book, where she talks shit about another writer who just so happens to be in the store at the same time. Small world really be small worlding. Then it's dinner time where Jeremiah does this.
Steven. Dude, are you kidding me? Boom! Nailed it. Okay.
And then they talk about Belly joining the debutante, fuck, what is it? The debutante. The fucking Downton Abbey thing where you're like dress up and stuff. It's a bit girly in the context of the show. You know what I'm talking about. Debutante? Anyway, there's definitely some tension here though, because Laurel doesn't want her to do it, but Susanna does. And Laurel has always had some nerves about Susanna having more money than her and always treating Belly as her own, which can be good and bad. We also learn that Conrad has quit football and is brooding about it. Because why not? Though we don't know why yet, but once again I have my theories. He also says something about people being sheep that makes him sound better than everyone else, in which I consider him a loser. Then Laurel calls Belly a feral cat for some reason.
She's our feral little alley cat.
Then Jeremiah and Steven sing in the shower together. Okay, fine, not together, but in my house we don't go into the bathroom while someone showers. It's just not something we do. But whatever, it's fine. Then Belly goes night swimming and runs into Conrad brooding again, trying to be cooler than everyone else for no reason. This is really feeling like the first movie Edward and Jacob. Jeremiah being the Jacob golden retriever and Conrad being the depressed vampire Edward. But him and Belly have a long talk about smoking and the debutante thing, and how he doesn't think she should do it. Controlling ass man. Am I exaggerating? Yes. But when have I not? But he's about to tell her something and then gets interrupted by the other boys and they all leave to go to the bonfire, not letting Belly go with. But Belly wants to come, so she sneaks out wearing a dress that Taylor packed for her that really does not fit the vibe. Not that I can say much, I am not a fashion expert, but you know what they say? What you can't do, teach. Then she gets hit on by Jumper, who immediately tries to rizz her up and fails miserably. Also, don't grab her like that, you creep. Also, don't call her gas station girl.
Yo, gas station girl.
That is the worst rizz I've ever seen. Then she sees Steven, who gets very mad that she's here and finally does one good big brother thing where he protects her from Jumper, only to then say that he's embarrassed that she's there. For some reason. I don't have a sibling, so I don't know the full extent of those emotions he's having. Also, a lot of things probably just clicked in for you all knowing that I am an only child. I'm starting to make a lot more sense to you, aren't I? But then she finds Conrad making out with some other chick. Ooh, it's a big deal. For some reason. I know she likes him, but she treats it like he's cheating on her. Like, what is happening? Then Jeremiah hops in like a toxic positive gazelle and helps her out, only for him to leave her within 5 minutes. Back at the beach house, Laurel and Susanna talk. And once again, I am feeling more sexual tension between these two than any of the man characters. Then we meet Cam, who, I'm sorry, nothing against Cam, but he is the most uninteresting character in this whole episode. Also, he tries to remind Belly of some competition from the 7th grade where they met. And dude, I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. You think Belly's gonna remember that?
You dressed up for the costume contest, right? Were you a wizard or something?
Oh, shit, she remembered that. Then he tries rizzing her up, Belly cheeses and blushes like crazy, he does the classic jacket thing, and then we see drunk Conrad get into a fight with Jumper. And in the fight, Jumper accidentally hits Belly in the face. God, it's brutal out here. That's the song they played during the scene. Brutal. Olivia Rodrigo, icon, you know. Whatever. Anyway, then the cops show up and they bounce, and Jeremiah finally does something I like. Belly wants to go home with Cam for no apparent reason, but Jeremiah puts his foot down and says no. You just met the guy, we're taking you home. Honestly, in that one instance, W Jeremiah for looking out for Belly. I wouldn't trust Cam either, even if they met once in 7th grade. That said, Belly kisses Cam. Which, what the fuck, why? There was literally zero buildup for that, minus some very casual PG flirting for less than 5 minutes. What is happening? Then Jeremiah goes and gets Steven, and Conrad does this.
Your hair's like a little kid's, the way it's always so messy.
What in the fucking red flag is this? First of all, don't just start touching someone's hair. Don't do that. And then don't say it reminds you of a child. That's fucking weird. I don't feel like I'll be the first one to say it, but I don't like any of the men in here. They all suck. But they all get in trouble for going out, and then Belly decides to join the Downton Abbey thing. And then, oh my god, get over yourself. Stop smoldering like Flynn Rider. You are only 17. You haven't lived the actual life that makes you sad yet. You haven't lived your mid-20s yet. Then Conrad and Belly talk, and they make up a bit, and then he's like, hey, let's get some muffins. She's like, nah, I'm gonna go look at a whale. It's a whole thing. I think she's going to see Cam. I honestly don't really remember. And then the episode ends. Holy shit, I already know this is going to be filled with the most red flag stereotypes imaginable. And I also know I would eat that shit up. I can't lie, I do want to keep watching, unfortunately. But until that time comes, let's get into my theories of how I think the show will end. Now, I know there are 3 full seasons between what I've watched and the ending, but my guess is that a lot of nothing will happen and it will be very similar to how it began. So here's my first of 2 theories of what I think happens. First, I think that Conrad is so sad because his father cheated on his mother. His mom definitely gave off sad vibes and said that the dad was out of town, so I think he cheated and they're split up and Conrad found out about it. With that, I think Jeremiah doesn't know about it, which makes it even harder for Conrad. I'm also wagering that his dad was the one who was big into football, so because of that, Conrad decided to quit it out of spite. Secondly, I think Laurel will become a successful writer and end up with the dude she made fun of at the bookstore. It'd be an interesting meet cute, but I can see that happening. Again, that's just my theory. Another random theory I have is that Steven will end up with Taylor, Belly's best friend, with my only reasoning being that she's the only other girl in this show so far that I know. And given the show being 3 seasons, I can only imagine they'll finally give Steven a love interest. So I'm just gonna say that it's her. And then the final part of my theory is, of course, Belly and who she ends up with, and I think she's going to end up with Conrad. That's my guess. Knowing what I've seen from Twitter, I do imagine that she will date Jeremiah, but it will be out of spite toward Conrad, where her real love is actually Conrad. And then Jeremiah will end the show single and happy, because he's literally got 2 brain cells and they make up 2 emotions, which is happy and happier. So he's gonna be fine. Oh, and then I almost forgot about Cam. Yeah, he's getting sidelined almost immediately. I don't see him lasting more than a season. I feel like they're probably gonna break up because Cam's gonna realize that she's only dating him to date him and her real love is Conrad, and he's gonna feel like he's just getting dragged along. But that's just my theory for Cam. He's not gonna last long. So that is my first theory. My second theory is a bit more outlandish and probably not what actually happens, but who knows? It is the gay theory. Yes, you heard me right. Throughout the first episode, I said I noticed a lot more chemistry between the girls than I did the guys. So I'll throw it out into the universe that maybe Belly ends up with Taylor and Laurel ends up with Susanna. Kinda crazy, Probably not gonna happen, but a man can theorize. But the craziest part of this theory is this: Conrad is dating Cam. Why? Well, we see Conrad for the first time wearing a white shirt and a gray hoodie. Then later, we see Cam wearing the same white shirt and same gray hoodie. Coincidence? I think not. My theory is that they've been secretly dating, hiding their relationship by making out and or flirting with girls at the bonfire. It's a whole Love Simon deal in which Conrad is scared to face his truth of being gay, which is why he is so brooding. That is my gay theory. Also, this is even more outlandish, but imagine the two dads are actually dating each other too. So it's like the one dad cheated on Susanna by dating Laurel's ex-husband. I don't know the dad, so I can't necessarily make that theory. I don't know what vibes they give off, you know what I mean? But I guess that's part of the theory too. Anyway, so those are my two theories of how I think the show will end. So what I want you guys to do is comment down below how close I am to being right or wrong about any of my theories, but don't tell me specifically what I'm right or wrong about. Let me figure it out myself when I watch it eventually. Anyway, so that was my first experience of watching The Summer I Turned Pretty. My brain cells are depleting by the minute thinking about this show, but if you want to see more and have me continue it, please let me know by liking the video, commenting down below, and subscribing. But for now, thank you guys for watching, have a kick-ass rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.